What's up, everybody? You're watching Model Aviator. My name's Adam. I got a bench full of stuff. So every year the GAMA, which is the Georgia Aircraft Modelers Association, hosts the Southeastern Model Show, and that is the largest RC aircraft swap meet in the country. It's in Perry, Georgia. It's always the first Friday and Saturday of March, and they already have the date set up for 2023. So if you can make it, it is well worth it. I actually talked to a gentleman that came all the way from Texas, said it was absolutely worth the drive. It's 3 gigantic buildings, and when I say gigantic, I mean I'm talking football field size buildings, plus the surrounding areas outside those buildings just chock full of stuff. U-control stuff, free flight stuff, plastic models, tons and tons and tons of RC stuff, and there are great deals to be had. Now the only thing I went particularly looking for was one of these. This is the E-Flite F-16 Thunderbird's 70mm EDF. I've got a buddy that has one of these that's let me take a turn or two on his, and this is a high alpha monster, as I'm sure you already know, and getting the chance to do that made me want one oh so bad. Actually got that airplane for $275, new in the box, which is $75 less than you can get one now, so not a bad deal. These are 2 UMX Mig 15s. Now these are the original UMX Mig 15s. AS3X was relatively new when these airplanes came out. This was some of the first handful of planes that had AS3X, and they flew really good. I had one, I let it go, I always regretted it. I've always kind of had my eye out, not really looking for it, but if something came about, I'd get it. The gentleman had 2 of these, sold them to me for $10 a piece. $20 for those 2 airplanes. And all the electronics work. I've checked them out. One of them is a little rougher than the other. Neither is perfect, but they're certainly good enough to have fun with, and I can't wait to try them out. And this is kind of special. Never expected to run across this. I like warbirds. I like Bearcats. Very cool airplane. I saw this on the table, picked it up, started fiddling with it. Guy wanted $75 for it. It's just a bank and yank, aileron and elevator. That's it. Obviously, you know, a hand tosser. Those are really popular nowadays. And I thought, man, you know, I'm going to take a chance. So I offered him $50 for it. He took it. So everything here, I've got less than $350 in the whole haul, which I think is pretty doggone good. Now, more about this. This is kind of interesting. This is a Bearcat built from Jim Ryan kits. It's actually called a Bearcat Speed 400. Jim Ryan offered plans, not kits, I'm sorry. Offered plans for $15 and a vacuum form canopy for $10, and you had to scratch build the rest. This is a 1990s vintage airplane, and it is really cool. The only reason that I know what it is because of my buddy John with the Justwingit channel. John, he's kind of an aircraft historian. He knows a lot about the history of aircraft, and he's kind of a model aviation historian. He knows a piece of history when he sees it. So I sent him pictures of this, and John did some digging, and come to find out it was a 1990s vintage Jim Ryan scratch built from plans Bearcat, which is really cool. It's kind of a neat piece of history. If you haven't checked John's channel out, look up Justwingit on YouTube, or actually we'll have a link for you in the description. Check his channel out. He covers a lot of really interesting builds and builders and flights, some very unique airplanes you won't see anywhere else. He does some flying with his airplanes. He's got an infectious laugh. John, more than anybody that I know, sounds like a little kid when he's talking about airplanes. He is so enthusiastic, and John's my age. I mean, we're in our 50s, and he sounds like he's 7 when he starts talking about this stuff. He is super fun to watch. Check him out. So what you're going to see today, we're going to take one of the MiGs, the better of the 2, out and try to Maiden it, see how it does. And we're going to take this awesome Jim Ryan Bearcat out and Maiden it and see what happens. So now that you've seen the haul, we're going to go to the field, and don't worry, you will see this Thunderbird's F-16, but we're going to do a full review on that, and I've got a pretty unique idea for the flying that I think you're going to like. That'll come later, but for now, enjoy the MiG and the Bearcat. Here we go. The little UMX Mig is a bit of a challenge to record. It's small and quick. Really put Heidi to the test. This plane really reminded me how far we've come with EDFs. I'm so used to things like Avantis and whatnot having so much power. And this was the first ultra micro EDF, if memory serves, and it performed the way quite a few EDFs of this era performed. You had to get a good downhill run to get any vertical at all. They were really quick in a straight line, but they kind of fell on their face in the vertical. Boy, do we have it better today. I made sure that all the control surfaces were centered on the bench. And believe it or not, the little MiG didn't need a single click of trim. Flew great right off the bat. Really impressed with this little airplane. I'm reminded of how much fun that it was. And while the lack of power surprised me, I didn't really remember that. I think having airplanes where you have to really manage your energy better, it's a good thing to have. That's a good skill set to have, and this plane will definitely make me do that. I'm excited to have one in my hangar again. I'm excited to be able to take this thing anywhere, even if I've only got a few minutes to fly, and get a little flying in. It only weighs 3 ounces. It's pretty much harmless. A lot of fun to be had for 10 bucks. So this Jim Ryan Bearcat does not have a hatch, so you have to take the wing off. There's the internals. It's just a little bit interesting to put the battery in. Plug the aileron up every time. Not as convenient convenient as a modern day hand tosser. That's okay, it's cool. Worth the trouble, I hope. Right off the bat with the Bearcat, it was pretty clear. I had a tiger by the tail. It seemed a bit tail heavy, even though the balance was right on according to the plans. Very touchy. Had a thrust angle issue for sure. It was yawing to the left. I wasn't sure just how much of what I was feeling was thrust angle and how much was tail heavy, but the first flight wasn't pleasant. Here I'm going to do a quick little stall test just to see how slow I can get it. Didn't really let it break all the way, but at this point, what I wanted to do more than anything was land. So second attempt, I've added some expo, 3/4 of an ounce of nose weight, and some right thrust. Hand launch and 2 turns into this second flight, and things are at least some better for sure. The changes I made definitely helped. I'm much more comfortable with it at this point. Certainly comfortable enough to finish a whole flight. But I can tell that I'm not finished with the setup. It's still doing a few things that annoy me. But I've done all I'm going to do at the field. We'll take care of that on the bench. I get a chuckle out of hearing myself say what I just said. I'm not sure if you caught that, but I said we've come a long way since 1995, and that's true. We really have. We've got it good today. Everything flies so good. This was back, at a time, and it's really not that long ago, but even in the 90s, something like this, you had to fiddle with them to make them fly pretty good, and even then, sometimes, you couldn't get something like this to fly as good as what we have today. But we'll get this thing better. Inverted didn't exactly give me warm, fuzzy feelings, and you'll still see some pitchiness here on this landing. So this is the second day flying the Bearcat. Took it home, put it on the bench, made quite a few changes. The first thing I did is put a good bit of down and right thrust in the plane. Added another 1/4 ounce of nose weight, so we're up to a full ounce of nose weight. And my buddy John, on the first day, pointed out that he saw more washout in one wingtip than the other. So I took the heat gun to it, and I've got the tips matching. And man, you can tell a difference. I'm really comfortable with the plane now and having a good time. This flight was really, really fun. This is what I hoped it would be. And we're doing a lot of footage of the Bearcat by design. I looked online and I can't find any flying footage of a Jim Ryan Bearcat anywhere, so this may be it. This may be the only footage of one of these examples flying, so we're honored to be able to put that out there for those that might be interested. Swap meets are an awesome part of the hobby. We hope you've enjoyed watching $60 worth of our swap meet heaven. If you've never been to one, check one out. No telling what you might find and how much fun you may have. Be sure and click the link and check out the Justwingit channel. John's an awesome guy. And with that, we're going to sign off. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.